QuickLoadz 60K Super 40 Operational Video 4, Loading and Unloading. This is a detailed loading and unloading video with a container. Other available videos include 1. Short loading video, 2. Trailer overview, 3. Detailed loading and unloading with no container. For training purposes, it's suggested that all videos are watched in order. 1. Short loading, 2. Trailer overview, 3. Detailed loading and unloading without a container, and 4. Detailed loading and unloading with a container. Normal operation or phone mode. The brain box either manually through the front switches or through the onboard computer and Wi-Fi network control the engine, camera, and hydraulic manifold. It shows the normal operating settings. Phone operation, bumper, lift, wedge, tilt, lock are in the middle position along with chains, feet. Engine switches in up or stop position. The engine is in stop position because the engine switch will override the phone control. Therefore, a Wi-Fi device will be unable to stop the engine if it's in the engine run position. The power switch should normally be in the up or trailer light position. Middle position turns off power completely. The down position runs the brain off of the trailer's pony engine battery. There is a pressure gauge to show hydraulic pressure while operating the system. Powered off the trailer lights. If the power switch is in pony engine power and the trailer lights are not on, the QuickLoadz will function, but the camera will not. Manual operation mode. Manual operation, switch from phone operation down to regular pressure. Switch from trailer light to pony engine. Switch from engine stop down to engine run. The fuel pump will become audibly on. The red power light should be illuminated. Push start to start the engine. All of the functions can be operated by switches in manual mode with the engine running. There is one function that can only be operated in manual mode. That is the hydraulic feet or landing gear. This is how you connect and disconnect the trailer from the truck. This is a safety feature. There is no way the driver can accidentally lower the feet while driving. Manual mode is needed to raise or lower the landing gear. Switch settings are regular pressure, pony engine, engine run. Momentarily press the start button. The landing gear or feet may now be raised or lowered. Once the feet are fully down, the tongue weight is off the truck and the truck can be disconnected. For road operation, the feet must be fully retracted. For normal operation, return switch positions to phone, trailer light, engine stop. If attempting to operate the trailer from a phone or tablet and there is reduced pressure flow or otherwise the trailer acts odd, more than likely the trailer has been left in manual mode. Simply return operation switch to phone from either high pressure or regular pressure. Do not run the trailer from a phone or Wi-Fi device while in manual mode. If attempting to operate the trailer while in manual mode from your phone, both the front pressure switch and the phone are trying to tell the trailer how to operate. Generally, this will cause a loss of flow and power, but can result in unusual behavior. Connecting a Wi-Fi device. No internet, no cell service are needed, nor are there any apps to download. Connecting a tablet or cell phone is the same. Turn on the brain box power by turning on the trailer lights. On the Wi-Fi device, go to Settings, Wi-Fi, and connect to the QuickLoadz network. If the QuickLoadz network does not appear under Wi-Fi, check the brain box's power and the Wi-Fi lights are on. Some devices might prompt that there is no internet connection available on QuickLoadz network. Click Ignore. QuickLoadz does not need internet to function. Open any browser, in this case Chrome, and type in the address bar 10.10.0.1 and press Go. First time connection might take up to 30 seconds. Thereafter, connection will be faster. When the login screen appears, type in your username and password. Press Login and wait for the control screen to appear. First time logins can take up to 30 seconds. Once the control screen appears, the trailer is under Wi-Fi device control. Loading. Begin loading by starting the engine. Press Engine Start. Slide out the locking pins by pressing the Unlock button. Visually verify in your rearview mirrors locks have fully slid out. If the locks are not fully out, then when loading or unloading, there's a good chance of bending a lock or breaking a chain. With any trailer, tow, or QuickLoadz, loading a 40-foot container onto a 40-foot trailer, starting misaligned, will cause the container to bind the sides of the trailer, or worse, slide off. Therefore, it's very important to start out straight. QuickLoadz is specifically designed such that the QuickLoadz will not grab the end of the container unless the container and QuickLoadz are closely aligned, thereby avoiding starting loading poorly aligned. QuickLoadz dual chains and rear guide wings to keep the container and trailer straight. With empty containers, you can count on them to force the trailer or the container into alignment, but with heavy containers, something will have to give. If new to backing up a trailer or QuickLoadz, it's suggested to back up the lift wedges up so as not to accidentally damage the container. The driver backs up to the QuickLoadz square with the container. In this way, the driver can use a sight line down the trailer bed and the rear view camera to see if the trailer and container are aligned. By pressing the camera button on the driver's cell phone or tablet, the control screen can be toggled to the rear view camera. It is often convenient to use two Wi-Fi devices to operate the QuickLoadz and see the rear view camera at the same time. Pull the trailer forward approximately 1 foot so it's not touching the container. Once the driver knows the trailer and container are aligned, release the parking brakes and slide the axles forward by pressing the Bumper In button. The Bumper In button uses a 4-inch cylinder to slide the trailer axles forward 10 feet. Slide the axles all the way forward. Failure to slide the axles all the way forward can result in damage to the bumper and undercarriage when the trailer tilts. Lower the lift wedges by pressing the Lift Wedge Down button. Tilt the trailer bed by pressing the Tilt Up button. Tilt the trailer bed until the rollers just barely touch the ground, as seen in the rear view camera. Back the trailer up to the point it is just touching the end of the container. Recap. Verify the locking pins have been slid out. Back up to the container with your lift wedges raised. Once square the container, pull forward slightly. Slide the axles all the way forward. Tilt the bed until the rollers just touch the ground. Lower the lift wedges. Back up until the rear of the trailer touches the end of the container. It is very important that the container is touching both rear rollers on the back of the QuickLoadz trailer. This is deliberate design. When pulling a 40-foot container onto a 40-foot trailer, if they start crooked, the container will become more crooked as the loading continues. Continue loading. Press the Lift Wedges Up button to grab the container end. As soon as the lift wedges touch the container, release the truck and trailer brakes so the lift wedges can pull the trailer under the container. Put the truck in neutral. Make sure the wheels on the truck and trailer are straight. Make sure the trailer is in line and touching the container. Release the truck and trailer brakes. The lift wedges can now lift the end of the container 6 inches. The grab hooks can go into the corner castings from underneath. With an empty container, the truck and trailer brakes can be left engaged, and instead of pulling the trailer under the trailer can pull the container onto it, although this will drag the container. With a low container, the trailer must be pulled under the container. Press the Lift Wedges Up button to lift the end of the container 6 inches. Press Chains In button to run the grab hooks into the container corner castings from underneath. It's important that the grab hooks go into both corner castings on both sides of the container. Example of not square. In this case, the trailer is not touching the end of the container on both sides. As the lift wedges pick up the container, the passenger side lift wedge is just barely on. As the chain drives are engaged, the driver's side grab hook goes into the corner casting from underneath, as it should. The passenger side grab hook misses the corner casting completely. Back to correct alignment loading. Once the grab hooks have gotten into the corner casting and the end of the container is just on the bed, stop the drive chains. This point can be seen on the rear view camera. It is very important to lower the lift wedges at this point by pressing Lift Wedge Down button. If the lift wedges are not lowered, they will catch on the container cross members. Once the lift wedges are fully lowered, press Chains In button to pull the trailer under the loaded container. The grab hooks in the container corner castings are pulled by the drive chains, which then pulls the trailer under the container. Normally the driver will be sitting in the truck, steering the truck and trailer to keep the trailer straight with the container. The guide rails will help with this visually. With an empty container, the guide rails can force the container to stay straight by forcing the opposite end of the container to move. This will not work with a heavy container. Neither the trailer nor the container will move, something will give. Do not attempt to use the guide rails to force a heavy container and trailer into alignment. Once the container has started to load, tilt the bed down by pressing the Bed Down button to keep the guide rails against the container. This allowed the guide plates to continue to keep the trailer and container together. Also, if the container begins to go crooked, it keeps the guide from going under the container and catching on the container cross members. When things go wrong, the driver lets the trailer and the container go crooked. The safest choice is to run the chains rearward and straighten the container and trailer. However, if the container and trailer are not severely crooked, the bed can be tilted to continue loading. In this case, the trailer and container are going crooked. The guide plate is pressed against the container. The truck and trailer are going crooked with each other, and therefore with the container. With an empty container, if the trailer and container are not too crooked, simply tilt the bed and the guide plates will force the container straight. Alternatively, lock the trailer brakes and use the chains to pull the container onto the trailer. If the container is between the guide plates and the trailer brakes can be set, the dual drive chains will tend to straighten out the container. This will cause the container to be pulled across the loading surface and damage it. On gravel, it won't matter. Back to loading a heavy container, which is in line. Continue to adjust the bed tilt to avoid placing all the container weight on the rear of the trailer, while keeping the guide plates next to the container. As the chain in function pulls the trailer under the container, continue to adjust the trailer tilt to keep the guide plates on the side of the container. When the container end leaves the ground, the trailer will stop moving. Be aware and be ready to brake should the truck and trailer start to roll. Sometimes with a heavy container, the lift wedges can assist the very end of the loading process by using the lift wedges to lift and place the end of the container on the bed. Once the container is fully on the trailer, press the Locks In button to lock the container to the bed. The hydraulic locks will usually push through any mud, rock, or ice. However, be sure to check by looking in your rearview mirror that all 4 of the container locks are in. Tilt the bed down by pressing Bed Down button. With the trailer brakes released, run the rear axles all the way back by pressing the bumper out button until the bumper hits its stops. Before venturing onto public roads, QuickLoadz has 4 corner locks that keep the container on the trailer. These locks slide sideways into the container corner castings. QuickLoadz uses side locks to provide a visual check in the rearview mirror if the locks are engaged. When in doubt, get out and check. Let's take a look. Here's a lock that has not slid in all of the way. Check the rearview mirror. If you aren't comfortable with that, get out and look. In this case, the lock's in button simply was not held in long enough. Unloading. When unloading, first always press the locks out button until the locks are fully out. Lower the lift wedges by pressing the lift wedges down button until the lift wedges are fully down. Slide the wheels forward by pressing the bumper in button until the wheels have slid fully in. Tilt the bed by pressing the bed up button until our rear rollers just touch the ground. Start to unload the container by pressing the chains out button. With some practice, it's possible to unload a container without stopping. Allow the chains to push the trailer and truck out from underneath the container. It is important to keep the truck, trailer, and container straight while unloading. This video shows a container moving rearward after the tilt. It is possible to move the container rearward so that 2 feet hang off the back of the trailer before tilting the bed. By having the rear of the container hang off the trailer 2 feet, then when the trailer is tilted, the rear of the container can be placed exactly where it is desired. With the truck in forward and the chains out button pressed, the truck will help pull the container off of the trailer. When the corner casting of the container appears in the rearview camera, stop the chains out function. Press the lift wedges up button until the lift wedges have fully moved up. At this point, the weight of the end of the container is on the lift wedges. Press the chains out button until the chains have fully moved rearward to their stops. Shift the truck into drive and give it a little throttle to put some forward pressure on the trailer. Press the lift wedges down button to gently lower the container the last 6 inches to the ground. Once you have pulled free of the container, press the bed down button until the bed has fully tilted down. Press the bumper back until the wheels have fully moved back. Press locks in until the locks are fully in. Press lift wedges up until the lift wedges are up. Away you go.